Hi, my name is Stephanie Robbins, and I am the owner and CEO and all that jazz of Robbins Plumbing. And today I want to bring to you tips on how not to call a plumber because your kitchen sink is backed up, which amuses me because I own a plumbing company, so I should want you to call a plumber. But let's go over ways not to call a plumber because you're going to prevent stoppages at your kitchen sink that are avoidable. Step number 1. Use your disposal properly. Disposals are not meant to have food just shoved down them and then turned on. It's not how they work. I can attest to this because I had burned through 2 disposals before learning there's disposal etiquette. So, disposals, you want to make sure you have your cold water on. You also want to make sure your disposal is on first before you put food down, it turns out. Just like a lawnmower in deep grass, those blades won't get going if there's grass inside of them. It goes, and you pull on it and pull on it, you get a great workout. But you're not going to get your lawnmower started. Your disposal will start. If it's got a good horsepower, it may jam, but that's not how it's meant to be worked. So you want to make sure the water is on, the disposal motor is on, and then you put your food debris down there. And then, wait, there's more. You want to make sure the water is still running and the motor is still running and you don't hear it going anymore, like food going. Then you turn your motor off, leave your water on for a few more seconds to let all that go through. Who knew? But you do now. Second thing, don't put things down your disposal or your sink that expand. Don't do this. So those things, rice, pasta, freeze-dried food. It's in my tray, whatever, toss it down your sink. It's out of sight, out of mind. Till you have to call me. And later, we make fun of you because you put rice down your sink. I'm just kidding. Okay, no, I'm not. We actually do make fun of you. But these are things, they expand. If you put dry rice, dry pasta, anything that will absorb liquids, it will expand in your drain. And worse yet, if you leave it in there, it turns to concrete as it dries up. Makes it a nightmare. So those things should not be going down your sink, ever. Disposal, regardless, in the trash. To your chickens, whatever you do, they just don't belong down your sink. The other thing, and it may not even seem like a big deal until you have a stoppage, but there are things that are heavy, that are small. So eggshells, you grind them up in your disposal, everything seems fine. Coffee grounds, it seems like it would be fine. But those things actually are really heavy and they don't flow out as well. It's like sand. And try washing sand off your patio or anything. It's like, oh my gosh. That same thing is true for your drain line. So you don't want to put things that are heavy like that have that kind of feel to them. Coffee grounds, eggshells, they definitely don't belong down your sink. They belong in your compost, your garden, the trash, but not down your sink. The other big thing, grease. I have had the argument in 25 years doing this, well, if I put grease down my sink with hot water, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. So even if it makes it miraculously out of your kitchen sink, it does hit the city system. It's going to affect your neighbor. It's going to affect the city. Grease does not belong down your drain lines. You want to make sure to put that in coffee cans or another way of responsibly taking care of that grease and disposing of it. But grease down your lines, it cakes everything. So think of your arteries. If you have too much grease, you have heart issues. Well, if you have too much grease down your line, you have plumbing issues. Grease just doesn't go down your line. And I get it, if you cooked with something and there's a little grease in the pan, that's not going to be the end of the world. But when you have been frying or you've been making whatever and you have grease, and it can be really tempting to dump it down the sink, I'll flush it with hot water and Dawn. That isn't how it works. So it may not affect your line today. Oh, everything's flowing and Stephanie's full of it. Nope. The next time and the next time, it actually builds up over time, and it's going to take your little line like this, and it's going to coat, and it's going to coat, and it's going to build up to where that 1.5 inch line that you have for your kitchen sink is now a 1/2 inch line, and you're calling me on Thanksgiving because it's backed up. And I'm like, Stephanie was not wrong. Told you not to put that grease down the line. The other thing is empty your basket strainers in the trash if you don't have a disposal. So inside your sink is basket strainers, and they have that pull-out thing. So let's say kind of similar to this, but it's going to have that metal piece typically. If you don't have a garbage disposal, don't put that down your drain. The whole point is to avoid putting that food debris down your sink. Throw that stuff away. If you have a disposal, use proper protocol on the disposal. But it can be tempting. I see this in businesses all the time. Employees don't want to clean that out, so they just, no one will know, and put it down the line. We know. As soon as the plumber has to come out, we find out. So don't let that be a thing within your home. Those basket strainers and that screen is there for a reason. Dump those in the trash. And then my pro tip, put them in the dishwasher. Those screens can build up so much bacteria and so much that people call it, my sink smells funky, right? Those basket strainers, if you look underneath them, hop, skip, jump in the dishwasher, they're like brand new and they smell good again. So every week, pop those in the dishwasher. Don't let that be the thing that gets a plumber called out because your sink smells not so good. Dishwasher. So if you have an issue with your kitchen sink, you think something might be off, it's slow draining, maybe you didn't know these tips and you have a kitchen problem, we're here to help you. We're here to get you back to up and running, so then you know how to maintain it in the future. You can, of course, reach us at 623-486-4657. You can schedule an appointment at robinsplumbing.com, and you can, of course, always email us at info@robinsplumbing.com.